The first stage in kettlebell freestyle is learning to swing outside of the between the leg swing. So this swing, the path of travel, is all in the sagittal plane. We're going to stay in the sagittal plane, but we're going to move to the outside of the leg. That will also change the nature of the swing. So if we start with a straight two-handed swing, the first one we're going to work on is a one arm outside the leg swing. A couple things to note here. My front foot is turned in. It's not forward, it's definitely not out. Turned in. Second thing to note is I'm going to dip as the bell passes both front foot and back, both when the bell is traveling forward and traveling back. Strong center, keep my arm in close, and I'm going to turn to the side. My feet are staggered because this front foot is doing all the work. I'm dipping and dipping. The dip on the way back takes some momentum out. The dip on the way up throws some momentum in. So one is a drive dip and one is a catching dip. Both of them is more of a push. So notice that I'm doing that partial squat movement, not hip hinging. So it is a different pattern, even though the bell is still swinging back and forth. And my pattern of movement is different. It's going to be pushing, not pulling. So that's the one arm outside. Absolutely, you can do two arms outside. I don't recommend it. I don't think it's a great pattern for a lot of bodies. So I don't teach it. Stick with one arm and get both sides of one arm before progressing on to the next. So, next one. Two arm inside swings. So inside, we're going to take that same staggered stance, and now we're going to turn to the inside of my body instead of staying to the outside of my body. So inside of my body, not outside. This one I do believe works better when you start with two arms. Take that staggered step, and now notice that I'm going to rotate. My spine stays long and strong. And I rotate. I'll turn to the side. Here too, the front leg does the work. The rear leg is for balance. And I am dipping twice. It's a little harder to see it, but I'm dipping to catch and dipping to drive. My body in all of these also counterbalances, so my body moves opposite of the bell. I also call those claymore swings because they make me think of someone swinging a giant two-handed sword. So the inside two-handed or claymore swing. And the last one is doing that one arm. So the inside swing on one arm is going to use whichever leg is forward, that's the arm that's going to throw it. It will feel, at least at the outset, a little less solid on the one arm. A little harder to control, and I'll turn to the side here. I would not recommend starting to make steps until you have all of the swings down. So to finish, just let all the momentum go, and then set it down, step around it, and then start up. Over time, we'll work on adding in locomotion and stepping. But for now, just get the trajectory of the swing under control. Strong center. Use the rotation. I'm ripping that up from my legs and my center. I'm not ripping that up from my arms. Still using my lower body to throw, my upper body to control. So those are the first swings to get down. If you start pooping out on practicing the swings, a nice way to practice moving offline and moving around the body is just a simple around the world. This isn't going to build a lot of skill, but you can start to practice that idea of counterbalancing. Notice that I'm shifting away from the weight as the weight comes around my body. And it also does begin to give you that sense of handing off, which will come down the line. Once we have all the swings, then we'll work on changing hands and handing off. And notice that I'm carrying the bell in the corners of the horn, not in the flat, and then trying to jump it. Corner to corner makes a nice, smooth, easy transition. So, next stage we'll talk about the other swing lines.